the last 2 weeks, we did the learn approach or the assumptions. If you formulate it in like 4 steps, we did already step 1, 2, and 3. Here I gave you feedback this morning. In the first part of the lecture, there needs to be some changes to your assumption and hypothesis to be testable, because you see it here, assumptions, they need to be, or hypothesis needs to be testable, and they should be, they should have the potential to fail. Otherwise, there are no assumptions or hypotheses. And today we will go into the step number 4. We will choose and design a relevant experiment to test your hypothesis. So here, this is now new for you. We will start now with the class. So here you see all different types of experiments. I will not go through all of them. You see here the numbers which are in green, 1, 2, and 3. I will show you those experiment types. I will give you some examples and guidance how you can do them. Here on the bottom, so if I will go through each of them really quickly, and then we will go in depth into those 1, 2, 3. So landing page. A landing page is basically one small website where you will basically display your solution, and you will describe your product you want to sell, and then you will actually measure how many people are, let's say, contacting you or want to actually download your app or want to buy your food, your recipe, or your dish. So here you basically fake that you already have the solution, but you actually don't have the solution yet. So that's basically a website where you track user behavior. Wizard of Oz is basically that you do the solution manually. So this is the example you saw also in the video we looked at in the first class, where they tested this voice to text technology. So you were talking into a microphone, and then on the screen there was your text. So this is something they did then, where somebody was sitting in the back or in the other room, and they were typing the text. So this is a Wizard of Oz, where you basically do this manually. The survey is, I think, pretty clear. It's basically a set of questions, a questionnaire which you send out via an online link, and where you get many answers, and then at the end you have some statistics about how the answers looked like. The online ads is pretty similar. You can create some ads. This would cost something, and then you can measure, okay, how many people clicked on the ad. So if more people clicked on the ad, you can say, okay, this seems to be more interesting for them. Clickable prototype, I think, is also clear. So it's not a real product yet, but it's a prototype which is clickable, and you can see if people are actually using it or not. Customer interview is an interview with one potential target, or like one target group member. So here you basically ask specific questions to find out and validate your problem assumptions. And so the difference between survey and customer interview is survey you send out to many people, and the customer interview is always you speak mostly to one potential customer. Search trend analysis is, for example, in Google, you have this feature Google Trends. So here you can see if there are certain topics more searched throughout the time. So if there are certain trends for your solution, for example, then that is a good indicator that there is a demand for your solution. Video is, you could just create a video explain the solution, and then see how people are actually sharing it, how many people replaying it, and how many people are actually contacting you and want to have access to your solution, for example. Split test is very similar to the landing page test. Here you just compare basically an A and a B version. So in the A version, you test, for example, solution A, and in B, you test solution B. And then you can compare, okay, which solution is maybe better, which solution gets more demand. Email campaign, you can send out emails. Link tracking, you can see how many people click on the link. And the call to action is basically the same as on the landing page. So if you open or if you create a landing page, you should always have a call to action. A call to action can be a button, can be a contact form, but mostly it's a button like sign up here, or get on the waiting list, or book a meeting or something like that. So this you can then measure how many people click on it, and then you actually get feedback and data. Okay, so as I already mentioned, we will not talk about all of them, but about the most important ones, which I would also propose for you to execute or to test out, which will help you to get more answers to your question and will test your hypothesis, basically. So the first one was a customer interview, right? So remember, it's an interview with one potential customer where you want to find out the answers to your hypothesis. So I want to introduce you to the MAM test. This is a really, I think, very clear and funny concept, because why is it called the MAM test? The MAM test, this is a conversation of a son or a daughter with his or her mom. So the kid wants to, has the idea to start a cooking book on in an app. So he or she wants to launch an app with a lot of recipes. This kid comes to his mom or her mom and says, "Mom, I have a business idea. Do you have 5 minutes?" And then the mom says, "Of course, dear." And then the kid says again, "You like your iPad and you use it a lot?" And then the mom said, "Sure, it's great. Would you buy a cookbook app?" Mom said, "I love cookbooks. Sounds nice. Does it come with vegan recipes? By the way, what would you like for dinner?" So in this conversation, you see many problems. What are the problems? So the mom says, here the first question was, okay, I have a business idea. Do you have 5 minutes? And the mom says, "Of course, dear." But she actually thinks, "I'm proud of you and I don't want to hurt your feelings. So that's why I say, okay, yeah, please ask your questions. I don't want to hurt your feelings." Then in the next step, the son said, "Okay, you like your iPad and you use it a lot?" She said, "Sure, it's great." But what she actually thought is, "I only use it to check email on the sofa," right? So she gave a completely different answer than she actually uses the iPad. Then the next question, would you buy a cookbook? She said, so she said, "Yes, sure, I love cookbooks." But what she actually thought is, "Well, I have plenty of cookbooks. I don't need a computer in my kitchen. It might get dirty. I never buy apps. Do I need a credit card? Let me try to change the subject." Because then she said here, "By the way, what would you like for dinner?" So she was feeling uncomfortable lying to her or his son or daughter. So she said, "Let me try to change the subject." So with this, you see the problem of asking the wrong questions. And as you can see here, this demonstration is called the MAM test, because if you ask this question, in the format and the way how I will show you now, it will lead to questions that even your mom cannot lie to you about. Okay, so basically the questions you need to formulate for those customer interviews, they are in such a format that even your mom will tell you the truth. So how to do it right? Again, we always start with our assumptions and our hypothesis. This you already did. They need to be improved a bit, but we always need to start with assumptions, right? So this is just an example here. So the assumption where, okay, my target customer will be women above 50 years old, people who own an iPad, and they, or the assumption is that 50% of my target group of the 50 years old women own an iPad or a tablet. 70% out of those people with an iPad, they regularly use cookbooks, like printed cookbooks. And then my assumption is, the next assumption is 50% of those, they would also like to use a cookbook app while cooking, because it's more convenient than paper cookbooks. So this is the assumption. So these are the questions you should have asked this person. So when have you last used your iPad? For what and why? Have you ever used it in the kitchen, and why? Have you ever bought an app? Which? Why? Do you use cookbooks? Why and how often? Is there anything you dislike about them? Why? What was the most recent cookbook you bought? When and why? So if you compare that to the questions before we had here, I have a business ID. So the son was already talking about a solution. So not good. Do you have 5 minutes? Then you like your iPad and you use it a lot. So the mom had to say yes. So these are all bad questions. And if you compare it to those questions here, they are all open-ended, right? So they all are with the when, why, and why, which, why, how often, why. So they are all open-ended to be able to understand for you the real problem and the answer. Okay, so now Tiao is not there anymore. Okay, let's see. So far, is that clear to you?
Yes.
To the others as well? Jen, for you as well? You can raise the thumb if you like. Yes, okay, cool. So now here are some more guidelines. So always ask about past behavior and not the actual opinion. So not how do you like this app, but what did you do with the app in the past? How often did you use it in the last week? Why did you use it in the last week? So always ask about the past behavior and not the opinion. Ask why many times. So this is always helping you to get really into the reasons. And then it's good for those customer interviews that you do not talk so much, but the interviewer talks a lot, because you want to find out information and you only need to listen and not talk. So the other person should talk more than you. And do not come with your problem at the beginning. So do not say, hey, your problem is finding good recipes online, right? That's really bad, because then you already changing the mind of the interviewer. And what you want to find out with the interview is that if this person actually has the problem, right? So never state your problem in the interview. And the best thing which can happen to you is you ask, for example, the mom and say, hey, what is the biggest problem you had in the past week when you were cooking and why? And then she said, my cookbooks, my printed cookbooks are outdated, and I was looking for an app on my iPad, but I could not find any. This would be a perfect answer for your problem, but as you can see, her answer was, well, I have plenty of cookbooks. I don't need a computer in my kitchen. It might get dirty. I never buy apps. So that's a deal breaker. So it doesn't make sense to continue there, at least not for her. I mean, this is only one opinion, of course. Okay, so also never tell them what you want to build. So never ask or never tell the problem they have, never the solution. And yeah, never pitch your idea. So only hope that people will actually ask for your idea. Okay, so now I've prepared a little quiz for you. So I suggest that I always present you one question, and let's see. What signs can you do? You can do the thumbs up. Can you also do the thumbs down? You know that? Only thumbs up. Okay, then let's use. Sorry, then let's yeah, this one. Okay, then let's use the chat. So I will show you a question, and if you think this question is good, you write yes. If you think the question is bad, you say bad. Okay. So I start with the first question. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now we make one example. I already showed it to you. So the question is, do you think it's a good idea? So this is obviously not a good question, right? Because this implies that you pitched the idea to this person, and you should never pitch the idea. Let's see this next question. How much would you pay for this? Is that a good question or not? Cherry says good. Ethan bad. Chen not. And Ray? Ray? Not. Okay, so let's see. Not is correct. Why? Because this also implies that that you pitched the idea, right? Because how is this person supposed to know what is this for this? So this question is not a good thing you should ask in the first customer interview. What you can say is maybe how much would you pay for a solution which solves or which finds apps 10 times faster, but this is only right at the ending, like not at the beginning of the interview. Okay, but I think next question. And also another reason why this question is not good, because it's not asking about past behavior. What you can say is, or what a good question is, how much did you pay for a cookbook app in the past, right? So never ask about how much would you pay, but how much did you pay for a cookbook last week or something, right? So always ask about past behavior. Then this question, what would your dream product do? Good or bad? What do you say, guys? Just a guess, it's only a game. Come on, what do you say? Ray says good. The others? Cherry says also good. Ethan and Jen. Jen says good. Ethan also good. Okay, let's see. It's also not a good question. Why? Because it's again something which is not asking about the past. So a better question would be, which features did you use of this app before? What was your most preferred feature in the solution you used last week? But if you ask this question, what would your dream product do? You will get a lot of opinions and a lot of different ideas, which will not help you at the end, because you already have your idea. And you need to make sure that you really test this idea and not get 10 more ideas, right? So always ask something which happened in the past. Next question. Why do you bother about this problem? Good or bad? Ethan says bad. Cherry says good. Okay, and Chen and Ray? Bad. And Chen? Bad. Okay, let's see. This one is good because it's a why question. So why questions are always good. They will tell you a lot of details. They will tell you like the real thinking behind the question. And it's also something where we will find out something about the past, because if, for example, if this customer interview or this customer says, I hated to travel to university, and I don't have any internet connection in the U-Bahn. And then you can say, hey, why do you bother about this connection in the tram or in the train? And then you will find out why is actually what's the reason why he bothers about the problem. And then it could be something, yeah, because I want to check my Instagram, or I want to listen to music. But you will find out a lot of good things. Next question. Could you talk me through your workflow? Good or bad? What do you mean, Ray, with the why so many questions, Dizzy? Other questions, Dizzy? Ray? Okay, sorry, then maybe it's a connection. Okay, but this question, could you talk me through your workflow, is good. Good, guys. Because it's also asking about the past. So with this question, you will find out how customers tackled this problem in the past. Okay, I think that's the last one. How are you dealing with this problem now? So imagine is a customer saying bad internet connection in trains. You said, why do you bother about this problem? And then the next question could be, how are you dealing with the problem now? So basically, and then you will find out the student says, well, I'm sleeping in the train, I don't need my phone. Or they say, I'm downloading my music before I'm going to the train. So what do you think? Ethan, you said good. What about the others? Bad. Okay, so the answer is it's good. Because again, it's an open question with how. So maybe for the comparison, here you say, do you think it's a good idea? So this question implies that you're asking for opinion, right? So you ask somebody, hey, what do you think, or what do you feel about certain things? Here in the back part, when the questions are getting better, you ask actually about real behavior and real behavior. Yeah, so behavior in the past, most importantly. So how did you do that in the past? Like, could you walk me through the workflow? Or why do you bother about this problem? So you actually ask about not something he thinks about, but what he's actually feeling, what he actually did and behaved on. And the same with this one. So how is he dealing with this problem at the moment? Okay, so I hope this made it a bit more clear. If not, you can ask the question now, if you have one. Okay. So we will do this exercise later with a formulation of the questions. I want to continue now. Here is again the summary, right? So always ask about past behaviors, not opinions. Ask why many times, let them talk. So again, here you have a good summary, how questions should look like. So if I summarize this as a conclusion, you should learn about facts. So talk about their life instead of your idea. Ask about real experience, not options, and what they would do. So what they really experienced in the past and not what they would do in the future. Discuss specifics about the past, not guesses about the future. And look for patterns in their past behavior. So if you find out during the interview that this customer always did something in the same behavior, you can maybe adapt to this finding your questions. And the second most important thing is that you should confirm commitments. So get commitments and not opinions. So for example, if you see that this person is taking 1 hour of his time to answer your questions, this is already commitment, right? They offered you 1 hour of their time to help you with this problem solution. So that could already be an indicator that it's good. The reputation and money, it's also that you should maybe find you should find questions which already indicate that those people are willing to pay for it, or that you find actions in the past. For example, were you looking for solutions to this problem you were describing in the past? And then if this customer says, yes, I was looking for 3 hours and I could not find anything, this is also some commitment, because you know that this person already was looking for a solution for which he would pay money. So these are the two important things: learn facts and not opinions, and confirm commitments. All right, so this was the customer interview. And second, we will talk now about surveys. I don't know if you used Google Forms before, but this is a good tool. It's free, it doesn't cost any money to create surveys. So if you just Google Forms, you will see this feature, and there you can create free surveys. Most importantly is that you use open-ended questions. So why questions, how questions, what questions, to collect qualitative data. And here also good questions, for example, what is your single biggest challenge with, how you currently solve this problem, how many times will you use this type of solution, what the solution need to give you to pay for it, how much will you pay for the complete solution, and why. So here it can be more specific questions, and not so like specific questions to your solution, because you always start with a customer interview, and there you already validate your biggest assumptions, and then in the survey you're rather looking for if your solution is a good fit to the people. And you also want to find out demographic data. So for example, you should ask, how old are you? Where do you work? Are you married or not? Or some specifics which are important for your business plan. So for example, for the food delivery or restaurant ideas you had, it's important that you actually also ask, are you from big cities or not? So to be able to compare the answers based on the demographic data as well. Okay, so the survey and the customer interview is pretty similar. Just survey is sent out to many people, and the customer interview always do one-on-one individually. So, and then thirdly, the landing page. This is just an example of a landing page. Here you see hassle-free writing for digital content teams. Seamlessly manage the process of creating and publishing your online content. And then you have a form where people can put in their email address with a button. And then here on the bottom, you see a preview of the product, which will look like this, but it actually is not existing yet. So basically here you have the value proposition. So like why should they download or why should they use your app? And with this form, you will track if they are actually signing up. And here on the bottom, you just did some graphics, but you did not code or you did not develop your solution yet. So this landing page, it maybe takes you there. I will show you some tools. It will take you maybe 4 or 5 hours to create a landing page. And with this 4 or 5 hours, you can already test, okay, if people who visited the landing page filled out their email here, it seems, okay, they are very interested in the solution. And then on the other hand, you can say again, okay, if 50% of my website visitors are signing up with their email address, then I believe enough people would like to see my solution, right? So it's basically the next step. It's not asking people, but it's looking for their behavior on the landing page. And they don't see that this product is not existing yet. They believe it exists, and if they put in their email, they would like to know more about. Another example of a landing page could be something for products. So for example, imagine your idea is to launch such a boot, such a shoe, and you just create a landing page with the price, with the sizes, with some description text, with some images, and you put the pre-order button there. And then you state in the conditions, okay, if you pre-order, they will be shipped in 4 weeks or something. But then you already see, okay, look, I had 100 people on my website and 20 people out of those 100 wanted to pre-order my shoe. So this is really good. That's a lot of people are interested, like 20% conversion. So this would be an indicator for you, okay, I need to produce the shoe now, right? But you can also use this pre-order thing for other things, for digital products, for softwares, or even for restaurant, right? So create a landing page and describe your carbon-free dish for your Japanese restaurant there. Say pre-order and say, yeah, we will, in 100 days or something, you will be on the first, on the list or something. But with that, basically, you don't have invested any money into the restaurant or into food, but you basically collected some metrics, some indications before you actually invested this money. Tools for those landing pages. 3 are like, one tool is Strikingly. It's also free. And with Strikingly, you can, I can actually show it to you. With Strikingly, you can easily create website in minutes. So, and you also don't need to code or develop websites. You just have like a lot of templates here, where you can, wait, I will, here in templates, you can just copy paste those and just add the text. So you can create like very easily some landing pages. Other tools which are useful as WordPress, it's also for free, or Unbounce. I think Unbounce costs something, but there are a lot of landing page creators out there, which you can just use. Here's also some more links you can use. There are described more tools and some tips and tricks. And then obviously the question is, if you build such a page, how do you get people on it, right? So because a page in the internet does not help you so much if there are no visitors on there. So for example, you could launch it on Product Hunt or BetaList, or you can create some ads. So Product Hunt is a platform where people are posting new product, and then if people like it, you're upvoting, like you get some votes, right? And then with that you can get free traffic. But also BetaList is the same, but you could also do ads, or you can post it in Facebook groups. You can share it within communities. You can even create some flyers. So for example, for students, it would be probably pretty good if you find some online communities for college students. You post the link in there. You print some flyers and say, hey, I got the app which will improve your math grades, and don't visit this page here. So you need to, if you don't have a lot of money, you really need to be creative how to bring traffic to the landing page. But always remember, this landing page will help you a lot to understand if your solution is actually a good solution and a needed solution. So it's worth it to get creative. Okay, as we had some time delay in the morning, we don't have 60 minutes left. What I would suggest is we have now 35 minutes left. So I suggest to do this exercise with the questions, and for 15 minutes or for, let's say, 20 minutes. And then I will describe you some more the homeworks, and then we will do the experiments then next time. Okay. So did you have a question, Ethan?
No.
Okay. All right. So what is the exact task? We went through the questions for the customer interview, and I described you the MAM test. So I showed you the problem when you ask the wrong questions. So let's practice this, and each of you should find 2 questions which will help you to understand, which will survive the MAM test, most importantly, but also which will help you to understand your assumptions better. All right. So think about your most critical assumption. What you can also do is have a look at your problems you stated here. So find 2 questions and write them into the chat in the meeting, and we will then see if they are good questions or not. And always remember, I will share you the screen with the guidelines. Okay, so here you have in summary the guidelines, and each of you should come up with 2 questions to 1 assumption they have. And you have now 15 minutes. Is that okay for you? Okay, cool. Then just, if you're ready, share the questions in the chat. And then we will discuss it in 15 minutes.
And should I just change my play to plan B?
That's up to you. I mean, at the end, we are going through the examples in the class, and I'm helping you to improve it. You can also do now plan A, and then it's just important after today or after the homework with today, you should really know which business idea you want to follow, right? So
okay, I will just do the plan B after class.
Okay. Yeah.